Some people cannot wait for retirement. They've got the dream in mind, got the lake home, they've got the travel plans, whatever it might be. But there are plenty of people who dread retirement. Maybe because they really love the work they do, but more likely is the fact that they just don't know what they would do without it. Hi, I'm Michael Carlson, Certified Financial Planner with Carlson Wealth Advisors. And as is so often the case, I'd like to tell you a little story about a client of mine. We're going to call him Dave. Dave was a well-respected engineer. 40 years at the same firm, watching it grow from a very small firm to a much larger, very successful firm. He mentored a lot of younger employees. He did meaningful work. He was very valued at his organization. As the years went on, though, he felt like, he wanted to slow down. When he started talking about retirement, owners of the company offered him a lot of money to stick around. And so when I was meeting with him one time, he said, Michael, I'm not worried about the money. And that made perfect sense. He and his wife had done an excellent job saving. They had plenty of assets. They had a great plan in place that we had put together. He says, what I'm really worried about is not having any purpose. What do you do with that? That's pretty huge. And he wasn't alone in this. This happens to a lot of people. So we sat down together in my conference room. He had a piece of paper and a pen. I had a piece of paper and a pen. I asked Dave some pretty big questions. One of which, one of my favorite things, you can ask yourself this same thing as well, is, all right, Dave, you're 100 years old. You're looking back over the last 30 years of your life. What will have had to occur? What will have to be true at this time for you to feel like you've been successful? Now, let me tell you that accolades, accomplishments at work did not make the list. He talked about family. He talked about grandkids, great-grandkids. He talked about the things that brought meaning or could bring meaning to his community. I can tell you a lot of times having these conversations with people, they can get pretty emotional because you uncover so much when you envision the future. So I'll pause just to encourage you, if you get nothing else from this video, just the importance of sitting down and envisioning the future. So I also ask questions like, what are some of your hobbies? What are some of your interests? We talked about who are the people that mean the most to you? What are the things you've always wanted to do, of course? In having these conversations, envisioning the future, you start to really realize how much potential and how much possibility there is. Chances are, if you're retiring between 60 and 70 years old, you've got a lot of years in front of you. Make those count, make them meaningful. Dave realized he'd had a hobby of woodworking that he had kind of forsaken over the years. Long story short, he's now teaching a woodworking class at a local community center. Dave's a big family guy, and I told you they did a great job saving. Once a year, they charter a private flight for he and his wife, their kids, their grandkids to go to a favorite vacation destination of theirs. That's not an inexpensive thing to do, but when you've really prioritized those things that are most important to you and you've saved well, you find ways to make those things work, to create meaningful memories and experiences with those that you love. I just love to let people know how much value there is in taking some of your time to envision the future. This is true if you're a business owner. Okay, sitting down, closing your eyes, imagining what the company could be, just as true as it is for someone who's looking at retirement and is kind of scared because they don't know what to do. If you'd like help having this conversation, there's nothing more meaningful to me than helping people to realize all the potential is that's in their future. Give me a call, talk to somebody that you love. If nothing else, take half an hour for yourself with a piece of paper and a pencil and envision the future. I hope this was helpful for you. If you've got any questions, don't hesitate to reach out, and have a great day.